Hello fellow collectors, and welcome to Gallic Gun Toys. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video, and today we are reviewing the Banpresto Grandista Resolution of Soldiers Gotenks by Bandai. Now before we do get today's video going, I would just like to quickly shout out one of my local subscribers, Thomas. Thomas, if you're watching, mate, big shout out to you, mate. If it wasn't for Thomas sending me a message and letting me know that one of our local retailers had this in stock, I probably would have missed out, and I probably would have had to buy it online. So yeah, massive thanks to Thomas for that, or else we wouldn't be reviewing this one today. It would probably be another month from now. Okay, so straight off the bat, guys, you can just see how perfect the coloring is on this, like the turquoise in his belt and in his boots there, the yellow in his vest. Just all the colors are just really on point with this, and in terms of coloring, I have to say this might be my favorite Grandista so far, because this is just really nice. The colors just really pop, just really vibrant. I love it, and I hope they really keep this up moving forward. So we'll just get a quick look around overall. The stand is probably the only thing I've got a slight problem with. Is just, it's a bit ugly, and it just, I don't see why they couldn't have made that like a really tidy, clear stand that hooks around the other side of his foot or something, so it's not so visible. But he's not going anywhere with that. It is going to stand in place fairly sturdy, so there's no major complaints there. This part is hollow, again, just like the last release, the Gogeta, which we will bring in for a comparison shortly. It's not as noticeable as it is on Gogeta because of his smaller stature, but if you pick up, say, the Resolution of Soldiers Grandista Gohan, next to this, you will notice the weight difference in the lack of solid like solid plastic in the legs, but other than that, no real complaints. It's still an absolutely beautiful figure. Yeah, it really doesn't detract for me like it did the Gogeta. The Gogeta, it really killed me because if you guys collect the Grandistas, you know they're a nice solid figure, and if you collected pretty much every release up to Gogeta, you were probably a little bit disappointed when that came out. But yeah, not so bad here, and I can kind of live with that. Okay, so time to chuck the Super Saiyan head on. Okay, and that looks really good. Damn, that actually looks a lot better than I was anticipating. I might actually have to get a second one of these now, just so I can display both of them, display both heads, because yeah, that is really nice looking. I'll just go around once more, just so you guys can sort of see the aesthetic difference, because it does make a huge difference with the head. And I'm really glad that they include the extra head or the extra pieces for different things. You know, like Gohan, we got extra arms and stuff, a couple extra heads, the cape. And that's really good, opposed to them just re-releasing the same figure. Like the Goku, the very first Goku, I'm pretty sure was a base in the line, and then they released the Super Saiyan 1, which is the exact same body, just with a different head and a different paint job. So I am really glad that they really moved along from that pretty early on in the line, and now they just give us, you know, the extra head. So it's really good. Yeah, really like this Super Saiyan head, but if I'm being honest, I really think the base head is where it's at for this figure. Okay, base form head back on for some comparisons, but before we get into that, guys, we will do a quick height breakdown. Okay, so to his highest point of his hair, He's standing at about 8.5 inches, which is a really, really respectable size. Okay, now time for some comparisons. Here he is with the Master Star piece Gotenks by Banpresto, and I think they look really good together, even though there's not a great difference in size when you're sort of looking at them from a distance, but you get them a bit closer together, and there is, you know, a fair amount of scale difference there, and I think it's quite accurate. And here he is with the Grandista Gohan. Here he is with the Grandista Vegeta. And here he is with the most recent release before him, the Grandista Gogeta. Now, like I said, this one you can really tell the difference between the hollow legs and the non-hollow legs. But yeah, this one, not so much, but it is still a really, really light figure in comparison to the rest of the line. So, a couple of little shortcomings, and I think these are minor nitpicks. The hollow legs, maybe less of a nitpick and more of a flaw. But that does seem to be the way that they are going with the Grandista line moving forward. It does really suck, but it's still an absolutely amazing looking figure, absolutely beautiful, and I think it would be wrong to detract points on the hollow legs, just because that's where it's going now, unfortunately. But hopefully they change that in the future and they go back to solid. And the only other real gripe I have is just that stand. I just think that could be a bit tidier. And yeah, that's my only real complaints about the figure. But you know what? I still really, really love this guy and the absolute vibrance of it. Gotenks, to be honest, isn't one of my favourite characters, but two of my absolute favourite figures in my collection, just purely on how good they look, is this and the Master Star piece version we were looking at earlier in comparisons. But yeah, I really, really dig this, guys, and I'm actually going to give this guy a perfect 10, because I think he deserves it. Like I said, I'm not going to detract, I'm not going to take points off for the hollow legs, because that's how they're going with it, and I just don't think that's fair to put a judgment on it purely on that. If I'm going to judge everything else, I think it's a 10 for me. I like the stance, or the pose, whatever you want to call it. It looks really good. His belt looks really good, just flapping in the wind. That base head looks really good, but then the Super Saiyan head looks equally as good, depending on your taste. Maybe better, maybe not so much. I really, really love this base head, just a little bit more. The smirk is good, and just the colours really, really just blend really well with this yellow and the flesh tone and the turquoise, and just overall just creating a really, really beautiful figure. Yeah, perfect 10 for me for this Gotenks here. Alright, fellow collectors, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a like down below. If you're not already a subscriber, do hit that subscribe button. Don't forget you can also follow me over on Facebook, @GalletGunToys. Thank you as always for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.